Hello and welcome to Skills at Home, a series of events designed to explore skills that you can build at any point, whether over a vacation period or around your studies. My name is Catherine Saunders, I'm a careers consultant at LSE, and today we're going to be looking at digital skills. I'm joined by my colleague Jenny Brown, who is head of LSE's Digital Skills Lab. Jenny, can you please tell us a little bit about your work?
Yes, so I run the Digital Skills Lab at LSE, and that's a service which provides all kinds of opportunities for students to develop and improve their skills with technology. And so that can be everything from workshops in Excel, we do online courses in Python and R. We work with the academics to embed training as part of their academic offering. And we've recently worked with careers to run competitions and challenges using input and expertise from industry to allow students the opportunity to apply their newfound skills to a real-world problem. So we cover a lot of different topics in digital skills, but by far the biggest area that we're seeing right now is related to data analysis and data visualization.
Fantastic. And Jenny, can you tell us about why students should learn digital skills?
Yeah, digital skills generally, but I think data skills in particular are just becoming more and more important in every field and every occupation. When we had the launch of LSE 2030, we had Ruth Porat, the CFO from Alphabet and Google, who came in and she talked about how every student needs to graduate and understand the basics of digital skills so they can be adept in the workplace. And I think that's absolutely true. It's not just about getting the digital skills that you might need right now or that are particularly popular right now, but it's about understanding how to keep learning about digital skills and technologies because it's moving so fast. And a lot of those advances that we're seeing are generating huge amounts of data. And that's data which is going to help us to better understand and to shape the world. So last year, the World Economic Forum, they posted this short piece about how much data is generated every day, and it's absolutely stunning. And they estimated that the entire digital universe this year, 2020, is expected to reach 44 zettabytes. And that means that there would be 40 times more bytes than there are stars in the observable universe. So it's incredible, and there's this fantastic infographic which maybe we can make available, which shows where all that data is coming from. So for us, we're really focusing a lot on data skills and using digital skills to work with data, because once you have all this info, what do you do with it? A lot of it is used in artificial intelligence and machine learning, but the important thing for LSE graduates is that we don't want to use data and technology just to recreate the world as it is, because what we want to do is get to a better place. And so a lot of organizations who are doing this really high-tech work are understanding the need for disciplinarity and the value of bringing together social sciences, technology, and data to get us to that better place. So on a more practical basis for the students, I think there's a government report from last year that shows that data analysis jobs have the second highest average salary at about $52,000 a year, and it has the highest projected growth rate of any of the digital skills clusters in the next 5 years. And the highest demand for those skills are in Greater London, which is a really, really long way of saying that whatever field you're going to go into, data is going to be hugely important. And being able to have the skills to work with and gain insights from that data is going to be important, not just for having a good career, but for helping to shape the world of work.
Great. So we know digital skills are important. I now know what a zettabyte is, and I'll have to see if I can weave that in somewhere. So how can students learn digital skills?
So to learn digital skills, there's a whole bunch of different things that are available to you. And most people will be familiar with a number of different online sites, Coursera and Udemy, and all sorts of places that will help you to learn whatever skills that you might want to pick up. I think the biggest challenge for those sorts of things is when you are trying to do that on your own is really understanding what to focus on and how to get help or support as you go along. So one of the things that the Digital Skills Lab is doing is providing people with a kind of curated list of different online resources, which we've looked at and feel are really valuable, and then kind of putting a support package around that, which means that the students can come to us with questions or get help if they're stuck on something or want to understand how to apply it within their own context.
Great. So obviously, these skills probably can't be learned overnight. So in terms of kind of setting expectation for anyone viewing, what do you think, where can people reasonably expect to get to in their first few months of learning?
I think it depends a little bit on what you focus on. So we have a lot of training that we do in Excel. We run a lot of workshops during term time, and a lot of those workshops are about Excel. And it's not just for the economists. I mean, Excel is one of those tools which is used in the majority of work and in the majority of roles that people would be interested in going into. A lot of people think they know Excel until they kind of come and see how much there is to do or how much it's capable of. So if you're looking to develop some digital skills and you want to make a lot of progress within a first few months, I would focus on Excel because you can pick up quite a lot, even if you've already started with it. And I would start with making sure you really understand the environment, all the most common functions, how to do calculations, and referencing. Just make sure you really understand referencing, probably one of the most important things. And then you can kind of move on to visualization, doing pivot tables and some of the other kind of fancier Excel features. But a lot of our students are interested in the new world of data analysis. They're interested in how to work with big data. And in that, I think you can go down two routes. And in a couple of months, you could learn quite a lot about how to tell compelling stories with data using data visualization tools like Tableau or Power BI. Any students who were part of LSE 100 this last year will have picked up some skills in using Tableau, but there's so much more that you can do. And this is one of those areas that is just growing incredibly fast in the world of work. So being able to take large amounts of data and gain business insights is incredibly valuable. It's also quite accessible. And there are websites and places you can go to learn more. One of my favorites is Makeover Monday. And this is a website where on a weekly basis, they make available a public data set and they put out a challenge. And people from around the world create visualizations and post them, and then they get feedback. So it's a really great way of having something that you can apply and getting feedback from professionals and improving your skills, and then also being able to demonstrate to employers a really practical example of how you've applied your skills. For those who want to get even more technical, and this is really quite specialist, I don't think this is something that everyone needs to do, there's actually moving into coding or data science. And so students who might want to apply what they already know about statistics and to work with big data, maybe to move into machine learning, then you would want to start learning either Python or R. Now, in the first few months, you are not going to become a programmer and you're not going to be a data scientist. You'll certainly understand how difficult it is, and you'll get a bit of an appreciation for how this sort of data analysis and programming and statistical skills all interact to create the field of data science. You'll also discover whether it's something you enjoy or not. And so it might be just something where you can say, okay, I've seen this, I understand a bit about how it works, and I know it's not for me. Or you might discover, a whole new love in your life.
That's great. So if anyone is thinking about starting out, what piece of advice would you give to someone who is starting their kind of digital skills journey?
I'd start by looking at the kind of things that you are quite interested in and where you think that technology might help you. Because the best way to actually work with technology is to identify the problem first and then think how technology can resolve that for you or help you to resolve that. So it's not really any good saying, I'm going to learn this tool and then not really knowing how you want to use it. So try and find a project, something that you're into, where technology can help. And start small, because you're not going to learn it all straight away. Try and understand a little bit about how that tool works. So if you want to get into coding, for example, there are a few tutorials where they use a tool called Jupyter Notebooks. And this allows you to kind of run or play around with bits of code without having to write whole long programs yourself. And that's one way that you can sort of start to get a feel for it. We have a few resources online, which can help you maybe if you're interested in machine learning. We have some resources that will explain how machine learning works. And again, kind of let you, upload your own pictures and see how image classification works and do that sort of thing. So I'd say start with understanding how the technology or the tools work. And then from there, starting to learn the specifics of how to use the tools to do what you want to do on a project that you're interested in.
Great. That sounds like a really practical way to get started. Thank you, Jenny, for giving us an introduction to digital skills. Anyone wants to find out more, just search for LSE's Digital Skills Lab. You'll find out about all the workshops that Jenny's team run and also those additional lists of resources. You can also check out our other videos in this series for more skills that you can learn at home. If you have any questions at all, you can email us at careers@lse.ac.uk. You can also find us on social media at LSE Careers, or you can book a one-to-one appointment with any of the careers consultants to talk about your own skills development. Great. Thank you, Jenny.